I am going to serve not only as the speaker but as the Master of Ceremonies today. One of the reasons that I wanted to be Master of Ceremonies is that some of you will know a guy called Mike Gardner. He has cancer, and we're running an auction this evening for that to raise money to help him with his journey of wellness. And I'm going to be Master of Ceremonies for that, so I need the practice. And if any of you haven't heard about it, you're involved, let me know, shoot me a message, come and see me afterwards, whatever. Okay, great. I'd like to thank, first of all, my team, Claire and Judy and David and Amanda and Carolyn, and I know I've forgotten somebody. Sonia, of course. Sonia, who's doing a wonderful job keeping on top of the Zoom. I'd like to thank you all for helping me out. I'd like to thank everybody who's joining me here in the room, everybody that's joining me online as well. No matter what time of the day it is, thank you so much. And of course, it's wonderful to see a few people here that I've only met on Zoom, and there's something else on here. I'd obviously like to thank the people at Oasis, because they have done such a good job with the food and the Zoom. And I think we should just kind of have a quick round of applause for me. And I will pass on to them that they've done that. Now, what is next? And finally, a big thank you to Pat Grayson from Heartspace Publications, who has helped and mentored me all the way through the journey of taking this book from first draft all the way through to having books on the table at the back and books on a link at Amazon, which we will be making available later in the process. Later in the day. Yeah, so around the book. Thank you, Ruanna, you do this all the time. About the book. As you can tell, particularly from this picture and the picture of me, that, by the way, was a happy stamp. It was never, ever intended to be blown up to that size. I've got one of my oldest t-shirts on, but please don't tell everybody. I went to Uluru, otherwise known as Ayers Rock, for a global meditation that happened on the December solstice in 2020. And it was kind of something that happened through a sequence of synchronicities and coincidences and pieces of good fortune and events happening in perfect timing. It was really quite magical. And that has kind of brought to me the lesson. That whole episode demonstrated that when we get aligned with our true path, our true nature, our true potential in life, the universe will come on board and help us with all this extra magic. And then we can begin to live in ease and grace and with purpose. Now intuition has been quite surprising. One of the pieces of magic, first of all, is having this number of people here. I've never imagined it. I thought I'd be lucky to scrape a dozen people up, so it's really fantastic. Magic happens all the time. Even down to the point that we have got most of the people from Ian McIntyre's group, and I'm not quite sure why Ian isn't here, because he did say he was coming, but be that as it may, that was another piece of magic, getting that group back together. I kind of feel I've also been really surprised with how this work has been received in my family. I've got my son Joe here, it's gone down well with my brothers, it's gone down well with my cousins. So it's really good to be bringing this work through at this time. I think the parallels with mindfulness, it's gone from something that people went and did, and they were kind of a bit fringe in 1966 when they went to Rishikesh, and today it's mainstream. It's in corporations. It is in site labs, and the government is handing over lots of money to people like Joe's boss to do research on mindfulness. I think that, it's my opinion, that intuition is kind of back where meditation was in the 60s, and it's going to follow the same course, but a lot quicker. So that's my little rant for today. So with all that done, I'm going to talk, I've talked about the book. So next up, when you host one of these events, one of the banes of your life is that people will come on at the last minute and say, where's the Zoom link? Unfortunately, it always comes to your own phone. So I would love for you to mute your phones, but I can't mute mine. But that is an apology, so we can go with that. So next, I would like to invite, I've just seen Beck come up with your tea. If anybody has not had tea, coffee, or another drink, there is a tab downstairs. Please feel free to get something. Okay, I'd like to invite Pat to come up next. Now,
Okay.
yeah. By way of introduction to Pat, first of all, I'd like to thank Luana for introducing me to Pat, for his work in the book. Pat has written about the Sharia testimonial. Yeah. I love this book. What would you prefer to read?
That you can read it.
Yeah. I have read literally hundreds of spiritual several. This one's different. It's fresh, funny, and clever. The author's humility and intelligence shines through. Roxy, the muse she's called, is brilliant, witty, and demanding. Exceedingly demanding. But her heart is massive. The messages and the delivery are also fresh and profound. If you read this book and take the messages to heart, your life will never be the same. So thank you for that, Pat. And with that, I think you have one or two questions for me.
Yeah, I do. First, I don't know whose land I'm on, but I'm grateful for being on their land and their ancestors and Kaurna people. And I'd also like to welcome Roxy.
Yes.
So would you like to explain who Roxy is?
Yes. So I don't do live channelings, but Roxy is a muse or a spirit guide. Now, some of you may believe in spirit guides. Some of you may use them purely as an imaginative tool, and it kind of really doesn't matter which way you go. But Roxy is the muse that worked with me on this book all the way through. Interestingly, I didn't start working with Roxy. She just kind of came in from left field as I was supposed to be doing some writing one day, and basically took over this work. So I've had this sense that
She wasn't a housewife.
I think not. She has a lot of claims to fame that are in the book, really good ones. So she's come along and she's given me a really hard time and really helped get this book to the place it is today. Is that? Yeah, is that good enough? The other thing I will say is that Roxy has a particular voice. It ended up as being a kind of gentle, soft Scottish voice. Really lovely, quite different from my own. And later on I'm going to read from the book. I will be trying my hardest to do that, and probably, I'm very pleased that those of you that know Russell, he's not on the call. He's, I think, the one Scottish person I was afraid was, because Scottish people are always very kind of, they don't like it when you do their accent. They really don't. So, I'm going to do my best with that.
I've known Vincent for about 3 years, and he can be funny. But in this book, he is hilarious. And with Roxy's voice and her quirky, sort of, not Calvinistic approach from a religious point of view, but that sort of stern, doer kind of approach. The two of them have great banter. And I've been to many channelings over my life, and I've read many books that have been channeled. I've never read any that have been so funny as what this is. It's great. So we've got a canoe here, and you've given us an idea as to what flow is.
Yes.
What's the connection between the canoe and flow?
Well, this came to me years ago when I was in Africa, believe it or not. I was doing 2 trainings with William, back to back with a 3 or 4 day adventure break between the 2, and in the adventure break we got out on canoes on the rivers. And that's where the analogy first struck me about what it's like canoeing and getting into the flow of the river and letting that do the work rather than trying to force your way hard and paddle all the way down. And that analogy always struck me as being a perfect analogy for the work to do with structured intuition, with positioning ourselves so that we can get this additional help through the synchronicities and coincidences and opportunities and chance phone calls, all that sort of thing. So that's where that analogy came from. And for the preparation of this book, I did get out on a couple of canoeing trips, and they were a lot of fun, and they really kind of brought it home to me and brought home some of the subtleties and detail of it. So that's my canoes.
The statement that you made earlier about flow becoming a term that will come into its own as we go forward. That's a true statement. In as much as I've already seen flow, the concept of flow becoming more and more mainstream. It's nowhere near mainstream, but becoming more and more known. And in time, it will. Is another way of looking at flow saying that if everything is a vibration, and if we're at one vibration, perhaps it's a negative vibration, and where we need to be is perhaps another vibration, which for this conversation could be termed as more positive. So does it really mean that we're aligning ourselves with the right vibration that flows maybe us another way?
Yes, it is. Where to go with this? I think that it's shifting for everybody, so that somebody I was watching the other day on YouTube said, that years ago we were 90% survival and 10% following our true path in life. We're now kind of getting up to 50-50 as humanity generally. So it is about raising our vibration, and this has been coming home to me very much in recent days, about saying no to anything that's creating anger, whether it's on YouTube or television or whatever, and start resonating with that, and start resonating with anything that's got more about love, of creativity, of fun. Laughter's always a good one as well. That's always a great vibration to get into. Those of us that do shaking will know all about that one, because it does bring up spontaneous laughter as you go through the process. Yeah.
Writing any book is a challenge, and people are afraid of what, at the start of their writing journey, they're afraid of what the ultimate reader will write. They get all enthusiastic, which is certainly right, and they'll spend hours and hours and hours, and they'll create this masterpiece. And then when it's about to be released, it's that people are going to read it. Now, if it's a novel, that's one thing. But when it comes to a book like this, it's even harder, because what Vincent's done, it's almost as if he's unbuttoned his stomach and he's opened up his entrails. He's opened up his emotions, the things that have formed him, which we've all had things that have formed us that we're not happy and comfortable with. Vincent was brave enough to put all those out there, and what he's done is using empathy. He's showing people through his growth and what's happened to him. And that's a very brave thing to do. And once again, I've had many manuscripts that have come from, supposed self-help gurus and the like. And those books are so mundane. There's nothing of the author in there. It's all talking about things and not talking about themselves. And there's a big difference. And so, yeah, you deserve that. And then lastly, I've enjoyed working with you. It's been absolutely great, and it's a wonderful book.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Pat, and I will certainly recommend you on to anybody else.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to read a couple of passages. I'm just going to check where we're at with the time. We're good. This is at the start of the book. Now, what follows here, I swear, is perfectly true. I'm just that kind of person. Wouldn't lie to you. See, the story below cries out to be told, and I know you will see as the steps unfold that the universe will help us when we're in the flow. We've just got to open up, align and let go. It used to make me volcanic mad when I'd set intentions, nothing happened, so sad. For everyone else, it worked, never a doubt. But nothing I asked for ever seemed to work out. Jeff's a yoga teacher, mate, and he'd just set an intention for the students that he's going to get. It feels that all he has to do, I swear, is just ask. And that exact number turns up in his class. Adriana knows how to set intentions, calls people to her workshop across many dimensions. From intuition sees their names, so magical, before they ever sign up. Now ain't that fantastical? And even my sometime housemate Pammy, when we used to go shopping, she'd get so jammy. Manifest parking spots right next to the door. I swear I couldn't take it anymore. You see, I'd set in and get sweet FA. Didn't know why, didn't know what to say. I used to ask the universe, WTF do I have to do to get results like Jeff? The universe stayed silent, biding its time, waiting like forever for the planets to align. Then, 11 months before that stellar conjunction first spoke, through an unwelcome malfunction in the bushwalking camp I'd made for the day, with my longtime friend Kate. She stood me up, not okay. So, and out of that event where the bushwalking didn't happen came the prompting and the events that led to me going to Uluru. I'm going to skip to another part of the book because I did talk about alignment with your true path, your true nature and purpose. And so we're going to talk about, I think for a chapter called What Do You Really Want? And it starts with the subheading Flow Posse. Now Flow Posse is my term for dear readers. It's so much more wannabe hip. Wannabe hip. Flow Posse, what do you want? So I hope you get Rox's verse when I speak it, voice when I speak it. Why is the universe so helpful? Well, before we can answer that question, first we have to ask, Flow Posse, what do you really want? Oh my goodness, people, just make a mental of the top highlights, please. This is not a journaling exercise. We're not trying to get an exhaustive list of everything you've ever wanted, from a new Tesla to climbing Everest. to getting a cleaner in once a week. If you really got into it, if you were really super honest, you'd be here till Christmas and beyond. Now just take a moment to make a mental note of your shortlist. What do humans really want? Okay, you have your shortlist, now move on. Vincent, I know you've done the work to know this, at least to the level you can handle for now. What do you think people really want in life? Well, the easiest way to answer that one is to understand what Maslow said in his hierarchy of needs. You think I'm impressed? You talk about Maslow and the academic theory as if you're saying, look at me, I've got an MBA. Come on, give me something specific. If you gave one of you fellow humans one wish, what would they ask for? To win the lottery? Now that would be right. That seems to be all you humans want to do. With that vision board highlighted, prayer answering life-changing lottery. Doesn't matter how much money you have, whether you're a pauper or have piles of money, all you humans seem to wish for is, as you say, to win that effing lottery. Now we're getting somewhere. That's one of your top wishes, isn't it? How did you go last week? You asked me before, you know the answer. Why are you asking me again? Just trust. I do not ask these questions for fun. Anyway, you didn't give me a straight answer last time, so please answer. But I didn't win anything. I'm not trying to rub it in, but do you ever, or at least win more than what you spend on the ticket? But I'll spare you any more embarrassment. We'll move on. What else do humans want? Not looking so fat, while eating whatever we want, whenever we want, without gaining weight. That's also one of yours, isn't it? Of course that's possible, it's just that none of you humans have figured out how yet. I'll help you write the book, Vincent. It's about the 5th in the series we'll be writing together. Oh, Vincent, I didn't tell you we have a lot of work to do together, did I? You just have to get used to working with me. So, Flo, Posse, you're going to have to wait a while for the answers to that one. I just look at food and I put on weight. The doctor keeps nagging at me to lose some. You look at food and put on weight. Do you seriously expect me to believe that? Sometime you should try not picking it up and stuffing it in your mouth. That might get you different results. Well, that's just a little taster of the book. And as it happens, I just happen to have a few copies with me. So, if you'd like one, perhaps you could, when I finish talking, make your way to the table, and one of my wonderful helpers will give you the books. I would then like you to make payment, but if you want to make payment before, that's fine as well, because we're going to take payment either by pay ID, by bank transfer. If you want to pay by card, there is a QR code that will take you to a payment link. Or if you're absolutely paranoid, or if you're very careful with the tax man, or if you're just plain old-fashioned and wish for the gentler days, yes, we are taking cash as well. Those of you that are buying this, going to charge it to your business as like a self-help book, that's great. If you want a tax invoice, please let David know at the back. Thank you very much. Now, One of the other things that I'm doing today, and what I'd like everybody to do, if you can, is to purchase a copy of the ebook, whether or not you're going to buy a hard copy. If you would like an ebook, there are also Kindle QR codes around the place, and scan it. What I've done for this particular promotion is to help me get rankings and help me get status on Amazon. So I've taken the price down to the minimum that I can that Amazon will let me enter. 99 US cents, $1.53 Australian. So if you could scan that now. I was going to ask Sonia to put the link in the chat for you guys on Zoom. Sonia is incredibly efficient and she's already done that. So thank you, Sonia. And finally, before everybody rushes to the back to get a book, what I would like to do is a group photo. So I would like us all, let's gather up here with the sign, and then we'll figure out how to do the photo. Okay.